The Galaxy S5 from Samsung is one of the most prominent used phones on the entire market. But why is it so popular? Hey guys, my name is Ryan Thomas for FailTech, and today we're going to find out. The 5.1-inch 1080p Super AMOLED display is super. I mean, it's kind of in the name. It's excellent with punchy colors, deep blacks, amazing contrast ratios, and makes anything kind of fun to use on the phone, especially with material design that really make the colors pop. I really like it. I think it's going to be excellent for anyone, whether you're browsing social media, watching videos, playing games, anything that requires any kind of sharpness, because 1080p at around 5 inches is perfectly fine. You're not running into the QHD problem, which means that your battery life should be a little bit better than if it was QHD. And secondly, it's OLED, so if you just change your backgrounds to black, then it should improve the battery life just a little bit. Also, it's less strain for the CPU, which means better performance overall. And because it's only around 5 inches, it's a lot easier to hold than something with a 5.7 or 5.8 inch display. Talking of the feel in the hand, this thing is very plasticky. There's a chrome rail around the outside, but that's actually plastic. It's kind of a chrome colored plastic. It looks okay in photos when it's brand new, but it quickly gets dinged up and it's not very nice to hold in the hand. The phone also has this weird textured back to it, which a lot of people associate with like a plaster or a band-aid if you're in America. Kind of looks funky, but you can change it, which is nice. So go to eBay, find a color you like, buy a back for like £5, install it, it'll be fine. And because it is a removable back, you do get a removable battery, micro SD expansion, and of course the SIM card slot is in there as well. The body accepts IP67 water and dust resistance, allowing you to pretty much put your phone anywhere. You can even put it in some water for a bit, as long as you have that bottom flap over the micro USB 3.0 cover, which is a weird connector, but we'll get back to that in a later part of the video. Of course, that IP67 water and dust resistance is nice to have in such an old phone, because obviously that's standard across most phones apart from the Essential phone video to come. But comparing it to the Essential phone almost, your build quality is going to be absolutely at the bottom end of the scale, especially compared to the modern Samsungs. I recently got to check out the Note 8 and S8 Plus videos to come again, and even in Samsung's own company, they've made a hell of a lot of progress within the past 2 or 3 years. The camera is one of the best parts of this phone, along with the screen, I'd say, in my opinion. 16 megapixels, f2.2 glass, and one of the best camera softwares that you can get in a phone. It's incredible. It shoots incredible photos, incredible videos. Unfortunately, the test shots I got were back when I was useless at reviewing phones, and I really didn't take a lot of photos, so I'll put some samples and leave links to some samples in the video description, which will take you to articles from other users. You don't get optical image stabilization, which is unfortunate because that's something you do get with the rivaling G3. What you do get is the ability to shoot UHD video and some slow-mo at 120 FPS for 720p. The UHD video looks good. It's definitely not too shaky considering the lack of stabilization. And I think that the best bit about this camera experience overall is not just the sharpness of those 16 megapixel photos, but the ability to save to a micro SD card so you can shoot to your heart's content. A wide selfie shooter is always welcome on these Samsung units. They are nice, 2 megapixels, so definitely not the best thing in the world, but it's nice and wide so you can get all your mates in the shots. Battery life is decent, but not the best. It's only got a 2800 mAh battery, which just isn't that big, but you can get a replaceable back, which kind of makes the phone a lot thicker, with a 7500 mAh battery. That's huge, and apparently it works quite well as long as you're okay with making your phone like twice as thick. I would recommend replacing the battery if you're buying a used unit with something like Anker. They do replacement batteries, like the same capacity, just a new one. I would expect around 3 hours of screen on time with this, depending on your workload. I was watching a bit of YouTube, but mainly using social media, not really playing games. The performance experience is good all round, although don't expect pixel levels of speed. You've got a Snapdragon 801 with 2GB of RAM, which is a nice combo, and it's a good set of specs to start off, although I would have liked to see 3GB of RAM. Since the software skin is quite heavy, it does lag a little bit in day-to-day tasks, but not enough to really hinder and make it unusable. I feel like those power users, you want to steer clear of anything like an old Samsung, purely because the software gets so bloated and is not updated for such a long time that it does get a little bit laggy. But those of you who maybe want a phone for a family friend or someone who just doesn't really care and just wants to use Facebook, Snapchat, maybe email their family or whatever, it's going to be fine. The Adreno 330 GPU works really well pushing to 1080p screen. I feel like that's a good match of a system on a chip and a screen. The only problem I can see is it's only got 2GB of RAM, and that usually wouldn't be a problem, but with Samsung's bloated software, it does require a little bit more RAM. Although if you install custom software, you will alleviate this problem with a lighter Android experience. For £100, this package really isn't bad. What you're getting is a stunning screen, an excellent camera, a really well solidly built phone. Okay, it's not a good feel in the hand, but with that water and dust resistance, it's definitely going to last you a decent while. And because you've got the micro USB 3.0 port on the bottom, which is backwards compatible for those of you wondering, and you've got that micro SD expansion, it means that it's a really good phone for almost taking photos and backing them up, because you've got two really good ways of backing them up. Do I think it's worth it? Heck yeah, I think it's worth it. In fact, I'd go so far as to use it as my daily for at least a month or two, maybe in between phones. Of course, I'm one of those people who expects the best out of their phone, but even I would use it for a solid month because I found it to be a good experience. Just make sure you're not giving it to a power user. Anyway guys, if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. We're trying to get to 10k by April, which would be really awesome if you guys could help out with that. Please do like or dislike the video based on your thoughts. Maybe you hate the S5 and maybe you love the S5. And please do leave your thoughts in the comments. I do like to hear from you guys. It does put things into perspective to know what the end user really wants out of their phone, and maybe an S5 would be amazing for someone who's stepping up from a 3G or a 3GS, but then it might not be so good for someone who's got, a Pixel 2 XL. So it's nice to see those contrasts, and I always love having conversations with you guys in the comments. My name's been Ryan Thomas for FailTech. This has been the Galaxy S5 video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.